Tonight, we're going to talk about tariffs affecting toy collectors. And a lot more than that, but at least for this show, we'll talk about our toy collecting and the prices going up, up, up. We'll talk about all of that and more tonight on Geek Dad Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. My name is Jay. I'm your host tonight, along with my good friend, Quip, a.k.a. Scotty Quippin'. Maximum Quippage. Quip, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I am doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you had lots of fun times down there in Toylanta with the kiddo.
It was a good time. We had a good family trip. Met a lot of people there, which was great. And the after dark today, I'll share my hauls. I didn't finish my toy hunting video, but that'll get done soonish. But I did get my O-ring Ghostbusters video done, which was like something that was like hanging around my neck. So cool. I was glad I got that one done. But excited to be here tonight. It's a bit of a spicy topic, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's say hello to the chat first and foremost. I will be in Japan next week. But let's say hello to the chat. Sorry for the tardiness. My mic wasn't working for some weird reason. Let's see. We got Jamie Vaughn, Jay Combs, I Play Nerd, Chris, Alex Aro is here. Riley Bob is in the house. Alpha Magnus hung out with him a bit at Toylanta. Good to see him as always. Two Bad Basis, Gady's Toys, Mint with Card, Shelf Presence, Tony Johnson, Toymanoids, Mike Jurlico, Chad Stewart, Gage Bullock, Angry Elf, Derek Ova. Kudos, Derek, jumping in with you last week. That was fun. Yeah, bummed I wasn't there for his first appearance on GDL, but glad that
we'll bring him back. We got to bring him back.
Absolutely. Z-Man at the party is here. Dave Stanley, Deep Space Niner is here. Leo, no last name, Refreshing Thoughts is here. Action-packed video, Retro Goat, Video Power Gaming. James Venable is here. Doc O's Collecting, Jack Knight, Future Fortress Maximus. Cone Killer Confuser, Toymanoids, and so many more. Matt Bush, Tucker Prime, Tony Taponi, Rob Azari. Woo! It is hopping tonight. I guess people are just excited. They're ready to talk tariffs tonight, Quip.
They are. And we're keeping it economic, right? We are not going into policy.
Well, it's no bashing the president, please. Okay, so this show is generally always had like a no politics kind of rule. It doesn't mean that Quip or I don't have our own personal political beliefs or things that we care about on that front. But this for us is an escape from the bull crappery of the world. And we try to do that for you all too. And I think for both Quip and I, we hopefully share our values that we believe in and want to kind of create as part of a culture here. But given that this big toy news is connected to politics in some way, that could get people pissed off or what have you. So all I ask is that in the chat, we're respectful of each other. We're generally pretty respectful and cool to each other here. But if anybody does get out of line, I got my man Charlie Weaver in the chat. Mr. Banhammer will be here, a dear friend. And then also Colleen is a moderator as well. So if anybody gets, disrespectful, trolly, stuff like that, we're going to give you the boot. So let's just be here to talk about the actual impact to toy collecting and all that kind of stuff. And let's leave the more spicy stuff for other places. I'm sure there's plenty of fun avenues on the internet that you can go explore that part of this conversation. But anyway, here's the thing, Quip. When I was however old I was in 1999, and I went and saw Star Wars, The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
I thought to myself, while I did enjoy it, I thought it was a fun movie. I didn't quite get the whole, taxation of trade routes being, the start of the Star Wars, the
I'm
wars
right there
in
with
the
you.
Stars.
Absolutely.
And but lo and behold, here we are, trades and trade taxes and tariffs and all that fun stuff. It's becoming more and more apparent for us all. And in general, the thing about being a toy collector is it kind of lets you escape. It's an escape form of escapism, right? And unfortunately, tariffs that were put into effect this past week affected things way more important than toys. I want to note that, like, there's far more things that are going to be impacted negatively than toys,
like food, right?
Food, yeah,
a little more important than toys, but
way more important than toys. You can't eat toys, I think. But that being said, since big or I guess more excessive than originally thought, tariffs were put on China and Vietnam, and because of that, we're now looking at toy prices potentially jumping upwards of 50% because of these tariffs on China and Vietnam. And so what does that mean? In short, well, it means that the costs to bring these things from China and Vietnam into America is going to increase because the cost is going to be passed on to the consumer, right? That's the only way these things will get through. And this could be a huge impact, not only just like new toys being expensive, but Quip, the impact is huge for toy pre-orders, kickstarters.
Yes. Yeah.
And I did talk to some friends in the industry. I'll share their thoughts in a minute, but I guess my biggest concern is for all of our friends that we've had on the show promoting kickstarters, and they took money from people that back their projects, and now that was for a price that you thought was the cost of doing that, like say an action figure or something, or some type of play set or whatever, and now that cost of that thing is going to be 50% more. What do you do? In that? I mean, this is a really slippery slope that could screw up not only just future toy prices, but just things that have already been like backed or pre-ordered or whatever. Quip, like, what's your initial thought on that front?
So even to your point about pre-orders, right, and things that have already been backed, these are toys that were going to be created. There are toys that have been created that were pre-ordered that are on boats coming, right? And any boat that didn't arrive before these tariffs took place, then once that product hit the shore, the U.S. government functionally said, hey, yeah, your stuff's here, but you owe me 50% of the cost, right?
Right.
So where does that cost come from? With respect to a business, right? If you're a larger business, if you're a larger toy maker, you may be able to absorb some of those costs for that immediate product.
Yeah.
But that's going to have impact on future product because you're going to want to recoup those costs. So stands to reason, not having exact numbers for how much they're going to increase the prices of other products, but they're going to try and recoup their costs by increasing prices for existing product that's on shelves, for product that hasn't sold yet, for future products. So naturally, prices are going to go up. I don't see any way where, I mean, in what world would prices go down, right? Right now, you increase the cost to ship something.
Yeah.
That cost is going to be passed along to us as consumers. And so with that, we talked a little bit about this last week on After Dark with respect to reevaluating our collecting habits. How do we adjust accordingly?
Yeah.
It remains to be seen just how much prices are going up. I know there have been a couple instances, people sharing things of prices going up.
Yeah, hold on. You shared Derek Coover, I believe, sent these, right?
Yeah.
So these were the initial prices, like that he pre-ordered them on Big Bad Toy Store, and now you're looking at $72.99 for a good old Bluegrass, and then the Dynamic Action Heroes, 89 Batman, $49. Now it's at $55.
Now that was the price difference day of, right? That was the price difference on Liberation Day, as it's been coined. And so
it's been coined, liberation of the money from our wallets.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. We're liberating the expendable resource. Anyways, we functionally though. So the hard part here is, all right, we just mentioned that prices are increasing about 50%, right? And
it's just like estimations, and
tariffs are 50%, not prices are increasing 50%.
Well, yeah, but then you kind of go to like the thing is, and I there's a lot of chats here I do want to plus in, and there's some super chats I do want to get to those in a second, but there was this one from Deep Space Niner, could increase 50%, fear mongering at its best. I will say this, Deep Space Niner, in talking with people in the industry, and speaking on the condition of anonymity, but they have said across the board to me, and it's similarly said in the article, so it's not anything hush hush top secret. Toy companies were preparing for the tariffs, right? The tariffs thing wasn't a surprise. Our current president campaigned on such promises. So they were preparing this year for tariffs. And so they were already padding toy purchases to an additional increase, right? What they assumed the tariffs were going to be, right? The thing that's the shocker is what was unveiled on Liberation Day was greater than anybody's estimations on what those tariffs could be. And so the concern now is, that even the buffering or the padding that toy companies were accounting for, at least the ones that were, being smart as they can be with their business to adjust and be prepared for, things like this coming down the pike. Even for the people that were preparing, this is beyond that. So what do you do now? Like for the ones that are pre-ordered, those toy companies are going to have to either eat the cost if they can, or ask for more money, which my assumption is the Mattels, the Hasbros of the world probably won't do that. They'll just eat it. Or the worst case scenario, if it is an indie toy company that was, probably getting these things through by the skin of their teeth, just to make it happen, which we've had a lot of people with Kickstarters on a lot of times. I've had these, not on live conversations. They're saying we're getting these things through. It's not like I'm making a ton of money. We're getting like just enough to make these toys possible. And so if they weren't factoring in that maybe 20%, now it's 50%, that's something that could just basically blow up the whole thing.
Exactly. Right? And so one of the things, so a couple comments flying through, nothing out of pocket, but I know one of the things, I share the sentiment of somebody in the chat who actually mentioned, okay, but BBTS always goes up on prices, right? And those are like $5 here and there, right? So we're kind of used to that happening, right? Super 7 has been slowly increasing their prices. So as you mentioned, was that in part to kind of in anticipation of, like, I can't imagine BBTS was like somebody had entered in the new price and was waiting for the chart and then they clicked enter as soon as it was announced, right? So they were anticipating something, they went up a little bit. Other people saying, okay, well, prices have been increasing, who cares, I'll just pick up stuff on clearance. Well, that, my friend, is where supply and demand plays into a factor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if the demand goes down due to significant price increases, then that means they're going to be creating fewer toys. Now, the price is going to increase, the quantity is going to decrease, and so are we still going to see a lot of these toys discounted? And even if we do see end of the year discounts, right, which even if that trend does continue, is the quantity still going to be readily available, or is it going to be more contingent upon different regions, right? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And I do want to put in some more chats here. We have Blake from Toy Collector Magazine, and echoing similar things that industry folks have told me, including these articles. Most toy companies plan for 20%. They got 54% for China, right?
It's a little heavier than anticipated, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's more.
It's more than
34% more than they were even padding to account for. Caveman, Vietnam is removing all tariffs. Other countries will follow. We'll see. Vietnam, I think, in this article, it makes up maybe 23% of like toy production that comes imported into the United States. China, though,
here's
accounts
what's
for 77% or whatever.
Sorry. So what's interesting though is so during some of the tariffs that were implemented, it feels like MSNBC. Some of the tariffs that were implemented during the previous Trump administration did result in manufacturing being moved. Some moved from China to Vietnam to save costs. And so if you actually look at the proposed tariffs, though, or the reciprocal tariffs, Vietnam is at 46% compared to China's 34%. So is that to discourage some of the movement of the manufacturing?
Well, I mean, that's the whole idea, right? Like free trade was the exchange of production in America for cheaper goods, right? And for globalization and all that kind of stuff, right? Fair enough, Adam. So the idea of fair trade versus free trade, I get it, but even like fair trade people are looking at this like, this is not how you do this. And there's even the argument like, well, you're going to bring factories back to America. Well, sure, but it's either then the goods are going to be super expensive, but not even just like the labor cost thing. The specialization in China, like this again, you talk to any toy maker, or really anybody that makes things over in these factories. These people are specialized, trained people that know how to make these things at scale.
Yep.
You can't just flip a switch and you have it here in America. Like this is 30 years of development that it would take however long that would take, and does the economy even survive that long? That's
even if you weren't talking about a specialized workforce, you'd also have to reestablish industry and infrastructure to support said factory work, right? How do you re-outfit things? So it all begets more, I guess, more questions, because there's also a question of construction costs to build new facilities and factories. And the materials that are needed to create said factories for construction. So construction is another industry that is going to be affected by this, that is probably more significant than toys, right?
Yes, exactly.
Construction is going to be affected. We need buildings, we need bridges, we need infrastructure, right? So what are the implications there? But I say that to say that it's not as simple as, oh, we'll just move on manufacturing here to the States and make sure that we have this magical specialized workforce that is now going to be able to create these toys that and even if we're going to prioritize the creation of toys over other industries, again, we're trying to all things in balance, right? All things in perspective.
Absolutely. Tucker Prime, $5 per chat. I think the company needs to start having commercials to save it, featuring that Sarah McLachlan song. In the arms of an angel. Michael, $5 super chat. I brought my prep H for impending butt hurt. Hey, actually, everyone in the, I guess Colleen said nobody's been actually booted. Everyone's being really respectful in the chat tonight. That at least that I've seen, no one's getting squirrely or to whatever. So thank you, everybody in the chat right now. We have almost 400 people watching right now. That's a tough thing to do on the internet. So thank you, everyone right now, for being respectful. Brian Brink, $5 super chat. I backed 5 Kickstarters last year. I'm a little concerned for my stuff and the wonderful people that made the toys. That's honestly, this is the thing I'm most worried about with this whole tariff thing, right? Mattel will be fine. Hasbro will be fine. Relatively, right? They're a corporation that's owned by shareholders. And it's, whatever. Like
bigger fish will make out okay.
They'll be fine.
It's the smaller indies that we would be more concerned about. That we are more concerned about.
Absolutely. Or even the mid-majors, right? Like and again, who knows how this is all going to shake out, but the Super Sevens of the world, like the NECAs of the world, like them, like could they survive big fluctuations to their supply chains, right? And then especially even lower than that, all of our indie friends that are making stuff on Kickstarter, because I talked to Near, and luckily he thinks that he's escaped most anything severe because it was already kind of en route or something like that before these things went into. I don't know. He's not even 100% sure, but so hopefully some of the friends that just people that are like us trying to make something cool, the ones that have gotten through, that's great. But for those that weren't as far along, maybe they bought tooling, but they haven't actually gone into production yet. This stuff hits them, right? These small businesses of like 2 or 3 people. And how is that gonna go? And that's what I'm worried about, is friends going bankrupt on one hand, and then the other hand of that, like people in this chat that have backed these things, spent their cold hard cash on things.
Yep.
Will this be out that much? Like it could get really slippery and not cool real fast.
It could be. Absolutely. And then what level of patience is there going to be per company, right? Because there's been some interesting conversations about different companies and about how some companies have garnered more goodwill with the collecting community than others. And so would the collecting community, again, depending on what sort of price shift we're thinking, for existing pre-orders, would it be more accepted from some who have a better track record than others, right? And what implications might there be there for some of the mid-majors or even some of the majors, right?
Yeah.
For the Kickstarter community, though,
right? It just and I do want to say Legion X is a fair call out. I don't want to be flippant to our corporate friends, right? Because in the sense that there's real human beings working
that's also
there,
what I was going to say too. Yeah.
And layoffs affecting them, because absolutely, I don't want to denote that, but the big corps will survive. But you're right, people within those companies could get impacted, and that would be devastating, because the folks at Hasbro, the frontline folks that are actually aren't in charge of the big business decisions, but they're fans that are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into things, and they get a lot of heat from a-hole toy tubers and stuff like that, which they don't deserve. They don't make those big decisions that they're pissed about. They could be impacted, or any of these other employees could be impacted. And then really anybody right now in the American workforce, government or public sector, could be laid off.
A lot of stuff going on right now.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Quip.
No. And so, what was it? Somebody pointed out too. And they actually made me think about it. Well, I was thinking about this the other day about what effect might this have on the aftermarket, on the domestic aftermarket for toys, right? As the cost of new toys increases from companies at various levels, what potentially could be the implication for the aftermarket, right? We saw the effects of a lack of, well, wasn't an effect of a lack of supply, or was it just people yearning for simpler times and easier days and waxing more nostalgic during the days of C19 that kind of caused a boom in the aftermarket?
Sure.
Do you have any thoughts specifically? Like what sort of projections or anticipation do you have for the aftermarket?
I think it could stimulate it, right? Because and brings plus oneing your thought here. Yeah, because it was kind of a perfect storm, for the pandemic, right? Where you had people that were used to going out, traveling, doing all these sorts of entertaining things, and then that was all taken away.
Yeah.
So you're right. We're going to nostalgia, and this was across the board. It wasn't just toys. It was Pokemon cards. It was making sourdough bread. It was getting into
VHS.
plants, right. It was all of these kind of cottage industries kind of sprung up out of the change in social dynamics from the pandemic, and collecting was such a huge one in it, right? And we've been seeing kind of the down funnel effects of that for years with huge clearance toy companies have been trying to adjust from that pivot for a long time. But yeah, absolutely, I think there is 100% possibly, if new toys add 50% to the price tag. I've been having a ton of fun buying Power of the Force 2 figures.
Now's your moment.
and I've been paying $2, $3, $5. I've been having the time of my life, Quip. And it's been hella cheap. So yeah, there are options to collect vintage or otherwise, or even like 10 years ago vintage.
Yeah.
They're gonna be way cheaper. But to your point, like if everyone kind of channels into that, does that raise the price of that?
Creep up too eventually.
It'll be
right?
interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that plays off.
Yeah. And you were talking about all the different hobbies during the pandemic. it's gonna sound weird. Do you remember like all the little niche like people started doing like cutesy customized masks and like
Yeah.
that whole thing on Etsy? Just
Yeah.
is it weird that I missed those? It's like, oh hey, you can have your favorite sports team on a mask, or you can have
Wait.
kittens on a mask. Like it's
So
just
you're already nostalgic for pandemic items? Quip.
maybe it's because I got to go back into the office and I just miss working from home.
I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry, my friend.
All good.
Fair point here. By Dan, it could go either way. Either aftermarket could shoot up due to demand, or it could tank due to people tightening the budgets to pay for stuff. Yeah, it probably just depends on how like effed up the economy gets. Like, if we're in full recession territory, or God forbid depression territory, maybe nobody buys anything. You know, maybe it's got to like spend money on bread or whatever. Like, the effects of this, we just don't know. We just don't know what that could be for sure. Yeah, or $50 Power of the Force 2. We'll see. So we'll see.
You won't know that Jay's hit it rich in the Power of the Force market, but there will be signs, right? If the Padre hat turns into a top hat and the glasses turn to a monocle, there are going to be signs.
I got on the Power of the Force 2 game before.
There you go.
Liberation Day. Yeah, for real. I will say, hopefully people are watching the Power of the Force 2 series on Toy Geeks podcast. We published our first video last week. It was a ton of fun. One of my favorite episodes we've done so far. This week, tomorrow, we'll have Toy Otter joining us, talk about 1996. And then we've already also recorded our next episode after that, which is Shadows of the Empire. That's like our part 2 of 1996. We did that one with Ryan Dole, and oh my God, we dug into it. It's been so much fun so far. I can't wait to keep going through that. You are never going to get $50 for a short saber long trade. Never, Jay. Never say never. Never say never. Actually, I was digging through my accessories. I found one of my, speaking of Power Force, I found my long sword lightsabers. Got kind of bent. I probably heated up or something. So we'll see. But I never say never, Allison Troy. Let me plus in another super chat here. Mike, $5 bet. Where's the town that eats dogs and cats, and do they offer takeout? Good Lord, Mike. We'll see. We'll see. Toy Collector Magazine. Also remember, there's a difference between the value and price. Something tariffs are usually applied to value, which is typically calculated using manufacturing costs.
There you go.
I mean, value and price something. I don't know what that means. Can someone explain to me like I'm 5? Quip, can you explain to me like I'm 5? There's a difference between value and price. Tariffs.
Value is subjective, right?
Yeah.
Whereas price is objective, right? The price of something is the price of something.
Mm-hmm.
But whether something is worth it to you, case in point, you have a Hot Toys Batmobile, right? Somebody might say, oh, that's an awful value, whatever, right? The price is the price regardless, but whether or not you perceive the value is going to be different. Yeah.
Okay, so
and then somebody else
versus costs. Oh, so like MSRP versus the cost of the goods. Okay.
That makes sense. So it's going to be wholesale price, not based on the final price that, MSRP. Okay,
sure.
all right. There you go. Oh, Target equals price, eBay equals value. That's what those two words mean to me. Right?
Yeah, but it seems like it's more list versus costs. Yeah, cost of goods versus what the MSRP is, maybe. And there's also the Nintendo Switch 2, which I assume that $450 price tag was them kind of padding it a bit, knowing tariffs were going to come, right? Because I just, who would want to spend $450? I was all in on a Switch 2, and then I saw that $450 price. I was like, man, maybe my Switch 1's fine. $90 physical games, $90, Quip.
Yeah, and that is where I tap out. So I'm always like 3 to 4 years late on next gen consoles anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Nintendo goes a little longer between iterations, so people are excited about it. I'm excited for the Switch 2 to see it. My brother is all over like new games and things though, but he and his wife are dual income, no kids. So
Dink,
yeah.
living that good life.
So I'll have to live vicariously through him. Very often I'll get my next gen consoles because he will have passed down the previous gen to me, like, oh, I'm done with this because I got this new upgrade. So hey, I'm cool. I'm there with it. But there have been a couple of cool, like I'm interested in the new Mario Kart like world, like kind of that open
Right, it
world that
looks
they
so much
teased.
fun.
That looks fun. Not fun enough for me though to pay 450 for the console and then $90. So what, I'm in $540 to play Mario Kart open world. I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah. Toy Collector Magazine says tariffs are also not designed to be forever. They are used to spark large discussion on items that may or not. Exactly. Like it's kind of been wild and all over the place this whole time. So we'll see. They could be removed. There's a lot of different machinations from all different sources of the political spectrum trying to negate, mitigate, reduce, whatever this whole plan. So, we'll wait. We'll wait. It's a wait and see situation. And if it's so bad, there's elections in the future that could change it as well. Like it's so, but the thing is, and people have said this in the chat already. I'll see if I start a few, see if I can find any kind of quickly. But it's this thing that once a price rises, even if the cost goes, if you've acclimated people to the higher price, they usually don't lower the price.
Very rarely. I can't think of any particular occasion where they said, hey, trade routes have opened up, tariffs have decreased. Guess what, everybody? We're back to the original price. And for all the flack we give McFarlane, you know what? All those Supermans and Batmans that you got, for the most part, he tried to keep those prices pretty steady. McFarlane, I know he did or has more recently kind of increased some of the costs with some of those figures, but we can applaud him at least for trying to keep the prices down on a lot of that.
Yeah. So we'll see. But that being said, it is so who knows how permanent these will be. But yeah, they'll probably never bring it down, and that's kind of the bummer. But I will say, if nobody's buying things at a certain price, the market will usually also kind of bring it down again. So it's a wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't look pretty.
Eric Munoz just pointed that out. But go ahead.
Toy Otter, there are roughly 6 million factors in China alone. USA right now has about 200,000. Each factor is 50 employees. Just do the math on that. Yeah, it's just not gonna.
Wow. Fly. Yeah. And I know, big picture, I guess, going back to what Toy Collector shared about how tariffs are used to kind of spark conversation, renegotiations, things that can happen. Big picture is, or even to the point that prices may not come back down.
Yeah.
If we really do reevaluate our collecting habits, right? Do we need to curtail some of our spending in response to this? If only for a brief period.
Or forever, maybe.
Or forever, right? Are we let's take a moment to be introspective on, well, what are we collecting? Why are we collecting it? I think our threshold, depending on our socioeconomic situation, well, our economic situation, is, I know a lot of people who are kind of taking a beat and thinking, okay, well, I was all in on 5 different lines. No way I'm going to be able to continue to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe I cut back to 3. And you know what? If you're really thinking that, then now's the perfect time to cut down to those 3, right? And then even if prices come back down, you could still kind of, I think bare necessities, when you find out you can live without it, you go along not thinking about it, right? Of, okay, these are the things that absolutely I love and that I do want to continue to collect and that I do have the expendable income to cover, right? So if we are all, some people are like, stop it, never. Just reevaluating our collecting habits in times such as these.
I think so. And honestly, I think, and we've had conversations like this over the past year or so, right? Like there's, for a lot of collectors, including myself, the rapid collection kind of thing that we built during the pandemic and kind of through the pandemic and post-pandemic, whatever, this, and for a lot of people just really going head first into it, we've kind of come to this place like, you know what, actually, I kind of have too much shit. Like I need to actually dial this back a bit, right? And kind of change the habits. And that's the shift that could happen, right? If things become more expensive, then maybe you just shift to less things, but maybe the more expensive things that really mean something to you, right? Like that's where the people that are more premium, i.e. like a Mondo, a Hot Toys, and again, we'll see what the price effects on those. I'm sure those will probably go up a bit. But like, okay, I can only have maybe 4 figures, so I'm gonna get like the 4 best figures I could possibly get versus 10 different variations. Like with Motu, like I'm getting Origins, Masterverse, Vintage, you know, maybe getting a Classics figure, like whatever. It's like maybe I just need to do one, and that's what. And I've already kind of been in that place. And so this is almost like just reaffirming that kind of choice I was already kind of going down this path towards. Because Pete Obi-Wan, good point. If you ask me, it's unsustainable because, you know, toy making was never built upon mass production of expensive toys, right? It just wasn't built that way.
Yeah.
It just, that's not the design of it, right? And I got a couple more super chats here. Let me press these in. Let's see. We got a little bit of whimsy. I'm guessing this is McFarlane has always tried to keep prices steady, even as comics have rarely raised prices over the last 30 years. Yeah, sucks at giving us women action figures, but is solid at keeping prices steady. Michael, $10 super chat. Tomorrow's down. Futures already tanking. Few more days of the markets being god awful. I'm sure our tariffs get rescinded, but will other countries also rescind? Last super chat. Thanks, Mike. But I think that's the question, and it's a larger question beyond this Geek Dad Life forum. But it's true. It's like what's the world that we live in after all of these shenanigans? And also gifted 50 GDL memberships. Mike, this is incredible. 50 GDL memberships, so gracious, which is great because the toy hunting video I'm making for Toylanta is going to be a GDL family member and Patreon exclusive video. So more and more people get to see it, which is great. I don't know if you said that on the last stream, Quip, or not. But Alex ended up being in through the whole thing. And in general, like perfectly fine with the kids showing up here and there for a little bit, yada, yada. But I'm also starting to get the point. They're getting older. I'm trying to shield them a bit from the totality of the internet. So happy to keep it behind a paywall. Alex really wanted to be a part of it, so I want to support him and stuff, but not making it fully open to the internet. That's why. But GDL membership's only 99 cents. Or if you're a patron, you're going to get it anyway. So if you want to watch that toy hunting video, that's where that will be. Mike Miller, I've already been doing this already. Time to cut back even more. This is going to get much worse before it gets better. Maybe. I hope it doesn't get worse, but we'll see. Derek Ova, I think more especially boutique toy companies are going to take a hell of a hit. Hasbro, Mattel, Weather. Exactly. That's my big what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about. And we'll have to see. Everybody smash the like button. Over 450 people watching right now. Again, big thanks to Charlie Weaver and Colleen Gladfelter for rocking the moderation tonight. Hopefully it hasn't been too crazy for you both tonight. I haven't seen anything go crazy. This is my actual real question on our friend Mike putting 50 GDL family memberships, giving them away for free. Did shiny plastic people get a free membership? Do we know? Do we know for sure he didn't get a membership or not? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get back to you, Alpha Magnus. I'm sorry. But shiny plastic people. Colleen says everyone here is lovely. Well, there we go. Shiny plastic people. I'm so sorry you did not get added to the GDL family members.
Are you though?
But everybody else, welcome to the GDL family.
I got family. I got family. I got family.
All right, times 50, whatever that is.
Okay, yeah, 50 might be a bit much. Yeah, it's
he
good.
Still didn't get one. Yes.
We're
marked safe today from Chris getting a free GDL family membership. Brick, I was running out with the kids. I didn't get to watch your stream before. I'm sure you said you were talking about it today, so I'm sure it was a fun episode. You're a much smarter man than I am, so I'm sure you were much more eloquent in breaking it all down. So if anyone wants to check out that video, please go check out his stream from earlier in the day. SPP and I are screwed when the freebies hit. I'm sorry, my friend. Still all the love going to you. Somebody mentioned sent like number 99 for Gretzky getting passed and reluctantly by my guy Ovi. Listen, I grew up watching the great one. Him coming to LA brought hockey to Southern California where I grew up.
LA Kings.
It's the only LA team I've ever liked and liked watching because of Wayne Gretzky. I remember when I watched him pass the goal, most goals record. I never thought it would get beaten. So all love to Alex Ovechkin for breaking a record I thought was never going to get passed. So well done, and happy for all the fans of him. More family memberships given out. Are we just trying to get Chris a free membership? He can spend the 99 cents, people. Okay. Tucker Ryan, 5 GDL memberships. Chad Stewart, 10 GDL memberships. And Dave, 5 Geek Dad Life family memberships. That's 20 more. So that's 70 total.
70 today. There we go. Hey.
Well, if anyone's feeling left out, again, it's 99 cents a month. And you will get access to the Toylanta hunting video, and you'll get a little thing next to your name, and you can use special emojis. Actually, 99 cents in this economy? That's fair.
That's that collector math, right? We'll spend $300 on whatever, the newest, the latest, greatest toy, right? High-end collectible. But heaven forbid we spend $5 to get a new pack of, like, value pack of socks. Like, I know some of you collectors in here have holy socks that you put on.
Holy socks, holy underwear. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's, heaven forbid. Or what do we do when we're like $300 for a figure, $8 shipping cost, $8, right? It's kind of what we do, right?
70, and he still can get one. So good. Well, to the 20 new members on top of the 50.
I got family.
You got family with the GTL family. Oh my God. So
and
funny.
Did Charlie Weaver just do another 20? Is that 90?
Oh my God. So is that 90?
Yeah. 90
GDL family memberships.
I got family.
There's 480 people here right now. Almost 1/5, right? Yeah, 1/5 have gotten memberships. Almost. Insane. And if Chris still isn't, maybe he's not in the chat. Like maybe he left, so he's not here to get a free one.
Oh no. Well,
As far as I know, no tariffs have hit the GDL family memberships yet, so it'll stay 99 cents.
Yeah.
Comb Killer Confuser makes it an even 100 Geek Dad.
Even 100. Okay. People are just feeling the love.
So he's not here. This was your chance.
Oh no.
Chris Shiny Plastic People. This was your chance, my friend.
I'd love to be in the room as he's watching the playback and we're talking about like, wait, 100 free memberships? Everybody wave to Chris Plastic. Everybody say hi to Chris Plastic in the chat right now.
Oh, Boocat. Okay, Boocat clarifies.
Okay.
You don't have to be present to get a membership. I get them randomly all the time from other channels I follow. So you're right. GDL is 100% made in America, so tariff free. How do you know? Maybe like all the times Dole's on this show.
That's true.
That's
true. We occasionally have an import.
Yeah, the production of.
I think we need to open up the next Toy Geeks with the, like, what popped in my head is the old truck commercial, the like a rock.
Well, it's like the car manufacturers, like some parts are made in Mexico and Canada and they swap borders and then everything. So it's probably something like that. So. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just one last thing. We do have some, or at least one, and hopefully there's no other big ones that get hit, but I'm worried they're going to be pouring out for our friend Toy Otter. Jason, as well as the crew behind the Long Box Heroes collection. Wave 2 got canceled because the price of those figures was going to go up like to $40 a figure and just wasn't going to be feasible. So real bummer. Really cool figures here. Maybe there's a pathway in the future. Something can happen. Who knows? But as far as this is and whatever it was going to be, rip. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And
still in good news, from what I understand it though, the Big Bad Workshop tick figure, like 1/12 tick figure, and the 1/12 Rocketeer, and some of the baddies are still going to be made. So it's kind of tangential to this. Hopefully they do come back. See, we got Toy Otters in the chat. We hope they'll come back in some form. So we shall see.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. The something can come of that. Alpha Mac. Oh, here it is. Goodness, I kept missing your super chat. As a person been trying to get a toy line made in the USA, this is delusion. Not one company wants to make injectable parts, let alone the R&D. It is tough. Longbox Heroes Prestige line is chugging along. I think a lot of people wanted Savage Dragon. Right, Savage Dragon, like so close.
Yeah.
And yes, it was because of the tariffs. And again, that's it. I'm not saying this one is lucky in that they were able to cancel it before they were like too far down the road. Again, I am really worried about the pre-orders.
Yeah.
That we've already paid our money into. These companies have already taken it and are starting the production process wherever they are at. For some of those ones that have taken money and maybe they were skating by on the thinnest of margins, are now going to get slapped with increased costs that they're not going to be able to afford. We're not going to be able to afford.
Here's
and
the
what
thing
happens in that situation
about some of those Kickstarters, right? So it's not to scare anybody off from Kickstarters, but when you're supporting the Kickstarters, right, you're supporting the efforts, right? And these companies are supposed to make every effort to create at the end of the day the product, but there are different caveats in those user terms where say manufacturers in goodwill price their figures out, order the figures, they're on the way here, they can't come up with the additional funds for tariffs. How long do they have? This is some of the nuance behind the scenes, some of the behind baseball that I don't understand. How long do they have in order to come up with tariffs? What happens? Does it just sit at the dock until maybe these tariffs do go away, or maybe they're lowered and they're able to afford to release the product? Or are manufacturers, smaller manufacturers through these Kickstarters kind of, toe up from the flow up for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Where they're really, they're adversely affected. There you go. That's a little better. They're adversely affected and they're unable to produce the goods, but they're unable to refund it because they've spent the money that they anticipated to create the goods. So then people don't have their figures and they're unable to deliver the figures, and they're also unable to provide refunds, right? What does that mean for these people who meant goodwill, right? That's really a hard place to be in.
Yeah. And again, my assumption is companies like Hasbro and Mattel can weather the storm, for lack of a better term or whatever. But I am worried about the Cantinas and the Ecto ones because those did not account these extra costs. And depending on where they're at in the production line, Hasbro could just say, we're not going to do it, here's your money back, kind of thing, and that would suck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. No, but there's nothing that's been said to the contrary.
Another thing,
but it's a concern. It is a concern if these things hang in, these tariffs hang in, the costs don't come down. That's a concern. Absolutely.
So that is a concern. And then even thinking about the pre-orders came into prominence in toy collecting and toy selling during the pandemic, right? I mean, that's kind of what the the product lines and shipping containers being all slowed up and held up, right? Companies, because manufacturing was all screwed up, right? They started offering more things via pre-order.
Yeah,
Does
exactly.
that continue if the
No.
tariffs continue, right?
It's a risk. That risk is too high now.
Yeah, or do the prepaid pre-orders cease, and still you're ordering with the understanding, small text, hey, if subject to tax and tariff, but then what happens if somebody then says, well, I pre-ordered it under these pretenses, under these tariff rates.
Yeah.
Tariff rates actually went up, and so yeah, nope, not going to pay it. Or what does that mean for pricing? If, as some people pointed out, like, what if you pay the tariffs, right? What if people who are like, hey, okay, I've got it, small business, we're going to scrape together, I'm going to, I'm going to borrow against, I'm going to pull from my child's college funds, whatever, we're going to do this, don't worry, I'll recoup it. And then a week later they go, hey, guess what, everybody? Tariffs are over.
Yeah.
What about the people who just paid the tariffs last week? Do they get, hey, do I get my money back? Like, what is that?
It's a mess.
It's going to be a right kerfuffle. It is.
Brian Brink, if I don't get my Ecto, no more charts. That's
Is that a reciprocal tariff? Is that the tariff that Brian Brink is putting on other people? It's, hey, no Ecto, no charts. Oh man.
Let me we'll see. Mint with card. Dang it, I bought a floor from Dole's Floor Emporium and everything.
Well, that's coming from Canada. So what are the Canadian tariffs?
Oh my god, I didn't even think about
floor?
Dole's floor. Unless Dole, do you have a shop in America? Like, do you have American-made floors? Or are these all Canadian-made floors?
I think these are
we didn't think
genuine
about these
Canadian pine. If I remember, I don't know.
Yeah, that's Charlie Weaver has absolutely just be a bag of bones going forward. But yeah, Cantina, that's a concern. Toyota calls this out. A lot of companies are lobbying the government for a 0% tariff carve out on toys.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, a lot of people everywhere lobbying for carve outs. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because I know last time toys were omitted, right? And so could there potentially, as has been pointed out, we don't know how long they're going to be in effect. Yeah. If carve outs are put out, like what? Hold on, there still could be negotiating. Okay.
Yeah, and Brick something. This is all international chaos. Person who causes would love companies and corporations to kiss his butt and ask for carve outs. It's not cute. It's really what it is. It's freaking gross. But I'm not gonna plus that one. Just try and keep things relatively civil. Think of the kids, Mr. President. Save the toys. Yeah, lots of corruption. That usually leads to lots of corruption. Anyway. Quip, final thoughts on the tariffs before we move on to other things.
On the tariffs. So this is not like our conversation, our discussion is not intended to stir up chaos or consternation. Everybody remain calm. Toys are fun. And be introspective as to what it is you're going to collect. Adjust accordingly. Make sure you are paying for absolute needs ahead of wants. But also understand that you still will be able to get things that you want, right? It just might not be in the same quantity that you have been in years past. So we adapt, we overcome, ride the wave, everybody.
Yeah, or Quip, I'll even say, don't be calm. If it pisses you off a lot, as an American citizen, if you are an American citizen, you can write your congressperson. You can call your congressperson. You can call your senator. You can call your duly elected representatives and raise hell, right? And then just personally, I think there's things beyond just toys that people, if you're in the part of the world that's pissed off about this, you have ways to make your voice heard. And exactly. If you're in America, you can vote. You can write your congressperson. You can call your congressperson, your Senate representation. You can get involved. You can do peaceful protesting. There's a lot of ways that you can use your power as an individual, as part of a country, to try and enact change. And and who knows, maybe the frustration of so many people, including toy collectors, because this thing is impacting people across the board, all over the place, the entire world, right? Because these tariffs are hitting even an island with only penguins. Them penguins are pissed, but there's so from the toy collecting standpoint, yeah, it's not that important. There's ways we can adjust. We'll be okay from a toy collecting standpoint.
Yes, purely from toy collecting is where I was coming from. But to your point, you do have a point. Absolutely.
Right. And let's be supportive of the small toy makers that could get really screwed by this thing. Right. And be there for them. Extend that grace to them. And then for the big companies, or even the mid-majors, extend grace to the real human beings that are good people, that are on the front lines trying to do good work. The companies themselves, they can, be fine or whatever, but let's care for the people. But yeah, if this is really pissing you off, go do what you have as an individual, the power as an individual, to work together towards making things better. So that's that. Those goddamn penguins. Just watch the end of Batman Returns. They're not cute.
They've got money. They're always walking around in tuxedos. So they're loaded. They need to pay their fair share. Tax the penguins.
Oh my God. Charlie Weaver, solution. NFTs. Folks, am I right? Todd Father. He was right all along. Digital collectibles. Charlie Square, and this is tariffs are fine in a fair trade market. It's when you use present Camacho math. That's again, even fair trade people are like, this is silly, it's stupid, this doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. Hopefully smarter people prevail. All right, Quip, let's go through some of the other big toy news this week.
All right, let's do it.
Motu. This was really funny. I'm in the Mattel Shillaverse program, Masters of the Shillaverse. They're non-fungible. Yeah, exactly. My digital toy room will be just fine. Oh, where I missed it. Here we go. My digital toy room will be just fine.
There you go. Hey.
But so it was really funny. Whoever runs that program sent out a email saying, well, since people already let the cat out of the bag, we're gonna unveil all these figures. But most of these we saw at Toy Fair.
Yeah,
right?
I'm shocked that was the response.
Right, just like, since all this has been leaked, we're going to send it out early. I'm like, okay, but
you did the leaking. You're the leaker.
But at least to my memory, so pre-orders for all these things went out. So hopefully everybody got their Motu pre-orders that wanted them.
Yep.
But I think Ninjor, I didn't see at Toy Fair. I don't recall seeing the Master.
No, they referenced him. They said Ninjor, but they didn't actually show him. So this is the first reveal of Ninjor. Yeah.
He looks sick. This red mask looks really freaking cool. Are you not a fan?
No. I'm a fan. I'm looking. I was trying to zoom in on my computer because you were a little tiny. Because I haven't really looked in depth at these figures. Okay. But yeah, no, that's cool. I'm always a big fan of the different Oni masks. Like, I kind of like what it's evoking there. So and this is new Eternia Ninjor, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. It is pretty rad. I like the claws coming out of the toes for him, because it's like a ninja scaling the side of a building, right? So
and it's also called back to the original figure for some reason. I mean, maybe to your point, it is claws to climb a building, but the original figure had the Skeletor kind of clawed foot.
Had the Skeletor feet. Okay.
So I always thought it was kind of weird on the vintage figure, but you're right. Like, it is kind of maybe a scaling a wall kind of thing. So I like that they put it in here.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a cool figure. It's fun.
So yeah, I dig it. And all the different head sculpts, you got a more human head sculpt here, and then you got this kind of more vintage style kind of mask thing that gets put on. I think it's really cool. I think it's really clever.
So is that a head swap or it's
no,
got
I
to
think
be
it's
a
a
head
face
swap,
swap,
right? Or is
kind
it a
of like
faceplate?
what's his name?
I know the new Thundercats Motu have the faceplates too, right?
Yeah, boy,
Or the swappable hair as well.
Zartan
Okay.
from GI Joe.
Oh,
I
Zartan.
think it's
Okay.
like
All
that.
right.
I think
Got
it's
it.
like that. So you have this face, and then you've got this one, and then you've got like his real face under here. I think it's kind of cool, and the red eyes
That
look
is
really
cool.
dope.
Yeah, I dig 'em.
Derek Cooper. Bad guys have clawed feet. It's science. Hashtag not my ninja. Hashtag long live Power Rangers. All right.
You got to say "not my ninja" very slowly. Make sure you say all of the letters.
Ninjor.
There you go. All right. Cool. Cool.
Not my ninjor.
There you go. All right.
The Thundercats, nothing new there, except great that you can
No.
pre-order them.
Yeah.
And on the cartoon collection side, I think we've seen all of these, right?
Cartoon collection. Yep. We saw Crazy Eights. We saw Beauty and the Beast Man. Yeah. We saw.
The Whiplash we hadn't seen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Woo, man. Whiplash is kind of put it on there.
You know,
looking at his neck.
Whiplash hasn't learned the art of middle-aged man growing a beard yet.
Yeah.
It's important. You grow a
I'm with him though. I can't.
No?
I can't grow a beard. No, I call it a summer beard because some are here, some are there. It's patchy, right? Every once in a while I'll let the chin nonsense grow out, but I cannot grow a full grown beard. Maybe one day when I grow up, keep saying my prayers, eating my Wheaties, I'll be able to grow a full beard, but today is not that day.
Maybe just get those like derma roller things or something.
Yeah, minoxidil.
I don't know if
right?
that works. I don't know. Anyway, we're not gonna fat shame here on this channel. Okay, all body types are welcome and supported and loved. It's just kind of funny. It's just a funny pose for that head. It's just like, meh.
it's interesting, but he's still clearly ripped, right? It's around the face.
He's got a full six-pack.
There's a glandular problem. That is so again.
I don't know.
Something's going on. He needs to get his thyroid checked out.
Oh man. Anyway, so those were cool. I did want to call this out. Everybody, there's 460 people in here right now.
Yes, there are.
Our friend of the channel, Blake
from Toy Collector.
He's only has 3 days to go on his Kickstarter. It's only a $7,500 goal. I know times are tough. These are hard times. Who knows? All of our 401ks have been destroyed. Okay, I get it. But my man Blake, it's a dream of his to launch the Moonman Zero graphic novel, book 1, Something Fishy This Way Comes. There's 3 days left. It would mean the world to me if you could throw this man a back. Let's look at the things that we can back for this project. But Moonman Zero, you can even pledge without reward, right? People drop super chats and stuff. We've got 100 GDO family memberships, and it's so wonderful. But for $15, you can get the PDF edition of his book 1 of Moonman Zero.
Drop that link in the chat, Jay. Drop the link. The folks are clamoring for it.
Right, meow. If we're like, we're a community, we're in this together. My man Blake is 3 days away. Really want to try and make this thing happen. We've all got dreams in our lives. This is one of his to make this book a reality. So if you can swing it, it's $15 to do the PDF version, or even if you want to throw $1 to it or $5, whatever. Put some support to it. We love you, Blake. We want to make sure, if we can do everything in our power to back this and make it possible. $15 to get a PDF version. That's pretty slim. That's cheaper than most any toy you can buy now in America. But anyway, The world is effing imploding, but hear me out. Blake wants to make a comic book. I've already pledged. Anyway, link in the chat. I'll put a link in the description.
Go
if
get
you're
it.
Interested? Send Blake some support. Cool.
Give him the HBO special. That's to help a brother out.
What's that?
I said, give him the HBO special. That's to help a brother out. Like, or the help Blake out special. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Cool whip lash. Cool whip lash. And awesome. D6 that's great. Backed Blake's book recently. I'm super excited for this. So am I. So okay, I'm seeing it go up in real time. It was under 3,000. Now we're over $4,000.
It's moving and grooving.
It has to be more than 17 likes, Charlie. Hit the likes button, people. Look at, we're already over $4,000, folks. Give your love. Give. Let's make this thing happen. Thousands of people watch this after the fact too. I'm sure because of this very spicy topic, more people will watch than usual this episode. So if you're still watching this at this point, link will be in the description, or just search in Kickstarter Moonman 0, or if you're in the chat right now, make it happen, Captains. Okay. People say that we don't talk about G.I. Joe anymore, Quip.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. It's a great server. Listen, Blake is an excellent writer. I'm really excited for this book. I don't want it to not happen. Okay, we get the Hatter bump with GDL bump, Hatter bump, all the bumps we can give.
Yep. But speaking of bumps, right? Let's avoid the bumps on the road because we're about to bro down all the way to Joetown. Pull them up. Get the renders. It's a good segue.
That was great. That was great. No notes. It was beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we got some new G.I. Joe renders. And listen, I don't know if Dan Larson's still in the chat. And you're Luis Bayer says, thank you. 4 months of weekly G.I. Joe's enough. Exactly.
Some people apparently missed that though, so we got to make sure
if you
we
anybody
with
that's like
Joe coverage.
You haven't been doing enough G.I. Joe coverage. Listen, Dan Larson and myself and many wonderful guests over the course of almost half a year covered the entirety of the 80s G.I. Joe line. Go check it out. It's a fun time. Listen. Okay. In that Toy Geeks podcast, and again, if you're like, what's the Toy Geeks podcast? Search Toy Geeks podcast wherever you can get podcasts and check out the G.I. Joe series. Right now, we're talking about Power of the Force 2. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, Dan Larson is a huge fan of this Battle Armor Cobra Commander. And glad we're seeing him here in the renders, and glad for those that are gonna finally get him. I've always dug this design. It's kind of weird, very more sci-fi G.I. Joe, which I love. So pumped that we're finally getting him in the classified line. Quip, what's your thoughts on Battle Armor?
My thoughts on this, and I have been excited to share this little nugget from Mrs. Quip. Right. So when she saw me, I was working on graphic design. There was a time where we were thinking, okay, maybe Joe's would be the lead story. So I was putting together thumbnails. Right. And she looked at it and she was like, it's like Cobra Commandalorian. Right. Like just putting it together. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to share that one. That's good. It's good.
That's really good. That's really good.
Cobra Commandalorian it's rad. And then what's cool is, so I shared this little nugget when last week we talked about just the name reveals that were at the end of the fan stream, and so now we have the renders. The fact that his helmet is, well, they think his helmet is fitted with 1/2 pound of plastic explosives. Is kind of, so be very careful when you go to switch these switch the head portraits, everybody, because there might be plastic explosives on that device. They think, they're not sure. So I love that backstory, love the profile card, love the fact that my wife called it the Cobra Commandalorian. And then this little dude down there in the left, that iguana, like he's just all battle suited out. He's protecting himself and he's like, but I need my emotional support iguana. Does that iguana have a name? Do we know the name of that iguana?
Chat, help us out. Does the iguana have a name? A lot of love for Mrs. Quip. I don't know if she's watching. Maybe she'll watch later, but a lot of love's being sent Mrs. Quip's way. That's Serpentor. Okay. The iguana is Serpentor. There you go.
Is that legit? Or is that because if that's legit, that's even hilarious. That's even more hilarious.
His name is Serpentor. Well, there you go.
Okay. All right.
That iguana is a transformed Serpentor. Well, there you go, folks.
Okay.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay. All right.
That iguana once was a man. Nice.
Oh,
nice.
so it reversed. So that's weird. Why would Serpentor be transformed into an iguana?
Listen, we don't try to ask too many questions.
Because he's a serpent. Iguanas aren't. Okay, I'll let it ride.
It's opening of the Deke series. There you go.
I
haven't watched the Deke series. I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea. Comments on your Commandalorian, or what was it? Was it again?
Cobra Commandalorian.
Cobra Commandalorian. Jamelin Parks. This is the way.
Nice.
Mr. Michael, Cobra is the way. MGMCU, that Battle Armor CC is one of the last G.I. Joe figures that is a must buy for me.
Okay.
There you go.
Go out on a high note. It's a great figure.
But yeah, so I'm excited for those that want it. Looks great. A lot of fun. Okay. This is freaking cool. Classified Claw and Pilot. Again, we covered the vintage one on this in the Toy Geeks podcast. Love that we're getting a female pilot with this. That's badass. Love that we're getting multiple portraits. And freaking cool ass guns, blast effects. This is a really cool set. I'm excited about this.
No notes. It's, I mean,
right?
Do you need to? I think you need to. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's
you need
cool.
to at least display 2 of the head sculpts, right? But you could build a whole fleet of these.
That's the thing. It's a small vehicle, so you could get a lot of those. But plus, it's the army building aspect of it. And I love they put the female buck in here, too, because that's great. Exactly. Women exist. Hey, folks, guess what? Women exist.
They're here. Yeah.
We can get used to it. All right. Give them space. God damn it. But yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. Excited for that. And then how about old Major Bluff? Is it not Blood? Is this like a different guy? Did I miss
It's Major Blood.
Okay,
it's Major Blood.
Bluff on here on the
Does it?
website. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was just it's probably autocorrect something like when they were typing in the headers. Yeah, it's definitely Major Blood.
We've gotten a more traditional Major Blood. So this one's more of kind of like a modern Major Blood. He looks sick. He looks cool.
Yep. They had some leftover Vader helmets in the Hasbro factory. They're like, all right, throw them on Major Blood. We got him.
Yeah, F is next. Exactly. But it's like maybe he changed his name. He got better tech. He's like, no longer Major Blood. I'm Major Bluff.
Maybe he wanted an actual code name because we talked about this too. Like his name is like, it's like Sebastian Blood, and so they said code name Major Blood, and I was like, that's just his rank and last name. That's definitely a lame code name. Like that, it's just his name, his rank, and his last name. So maybe he's changing it to Major Bluff. Maybe he is. He's trying to rebrand.
I love this from Gare Bear. Zartan as Major Blood makes him Major Bluff.
Good call. Good call.
I love that, Gary. I love it. Also, where are you? You're not here this weekend. I have Matt Bush sent you something, Gary. I was hoping I could see you yesterday, but you're not in town. Colleen, my wonderful wife, threw me a surprise birthday party yesterday, which was great.
Oh.
But you know who wasn't there? Gary, because he hates me. So don't worry, Gary. I'll only hold it over you for the rest of your life. I'm just kidding. I have your gift though. I gotta give it to you, just so you know. I think you're gonna really like it. If you want to join After Dark, I'll show it to you in After Dark. But if you don't join After Dark, you have to wait till I give it to you. Anywho, Major Blood, he's great. How about exactly? Damn it, Gary! Right? You just always effing it up. I'm sorry and I love you. Please forgive me. It's all good, my friend. It's okay. It's okay. Just the thought that counts. Where's Gary? I want to be with Gary. I had a lot of friends there, so I wasn't lacking for friends. I just miss Gare Bear. That's all. You know, just a little extra, little sprinkle of Gare Bear into the mix makes any party better. How about Monkey Wrench?
Word on the street is actually fun backstory behind this figure that Hasbro reached out to David Grohl for his likeness, but turns out he didn't want to be their monkey wrench.
Good on you, man. Johnny New Toys should have been there. Colleen, why don't you hit up Johnny New Toys? He would have showed up. She probably didn't have his number. It was a surprise party, so Colleen was like reaching out to people she had contacts with. Oh man, Johnny New Toys is going to be really pissed he wasn't invited to the party now.
Oh no. But this helmet, so I do kind of like, I like the red and the blue goggles, kind of like, you know, he's going to see a 3D movie. This, I guess the alternate head swap, it reminds me of Cabal from Mortal Kombat a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I can see that.
I don't know that I would want to display this figure though with the head swap, because right there, I was just talking about it earlier, callback COVID mask, right? If you look to the left, the bandana, you remember when everybody looked like they were like about to rob a train, like a Western Union, go into the grocery store. Yeah, there you go. He's got his bandana.
Quip.
That he just.
You're keeping us up. Matt Bush is going to send you a box of vintage COVID masks. Okay, I want you to maybe just talk to your therapist this week and work through this.
Don't need it, but all in all, this is a cool figure. Just it's fun, right? This is what G.I. Joe Classified is, right?
Sure, yeah.
Spicing up the figures from the old likenesses. It's rad.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's great. It's great. All right, let's keep moving on here. How about V4 Snake Eyes? Not my favorite Snake Eyes, but there's fans for version 4 out there. So for those that are fans of that version, here you go.
There you go. Yeah. Somebody will like it. Somebody's been waiting for this one. This is the first ever Joe. People have stories, right? This is that value versus price question where some people are like, okay, it's another Snake Eyes. But somebody is flipping over this version 4 Snake Eyes. Paintball Snake Eyes. See, that works. Paintball Commando Snake Eyes. Yeah.
I went to the flea market with the boys this weekend, and these people had paintball guns. And the boys like, Dad, what's these? I go, that's a paintball gun. When your dad was in high school, he loved paintball. He would go. There was an abandoned junkyard, like kind of next to where we lived, and we went and played paintball there over the weekend. God, it was such a good time. I don't know. Did you play paintball when that was big?
No, never played paintball. Didn't look fun to me. I've seen like Jackass, the shows and things where like they'd shoot each other and it was just big welts. Like I know you're supposed to wear padding, and I never got around to doing it. I did laser tag though. Laser tag was fun.
I mean, laser tag's fun.
Never paintball.
But it was a good time. I don't think people play paintball anymore. But for a time in the early 2000s, everybody was doing paintball. It was the coolest thing.
Here we go. See, Derek Dalzell, right? He is the person I was talking about that flipped out when he saw this Snake Eyes. See, he's all about it.
See, I'm saying they're out there. Yeah, I'm not judging it.
Not at all. No. I was gonna ask though. I don't know if we have a side by side or if we could do a side by side. So the Cold Slither episode, right, featured a Boy George Snake Eyes. And so does this helmet and goggles kind of match up with getting the hat, and then maybe, I don't know if this is a precursor. We'll see if we get.
We'll see. We will see.
Or
we haven't. I don't think we've gotten version 3 yet.
Definitely got version 1 and 2.
Yeah, we've gotten 1 and 2, and the other variations along whatever lines, but I don't think we've gotten 3. And so there you have it. There's the render reveals for that. All right, let's quickly go to Marvel Legends, and I talked to Dole about this in the Power of the Force 2 episode, but we've always waxed poetic about the multitude of Dan Larson action figures that Hasbro makes, right?
Yep.
I am so grateful that finally Hasbro has made a Ryan Dole action
A Ryan Dole figure. That was my first thought too.
Like I
yeah.
get David Harbour and Ryan Dole look similar, but this looks more like Ryan Dole.
It does.
Than David Harbour.
Yeah.
This is a Ryan Dole action figure. And the thing is, the wonderful Alex Brewer has already sculpted a great Ryan Dole head sculpt for the Dolverine.
That's true.
And I'm very fortunate that he made a head sculpt of me for Jabertooth, which we still need to make those happen at some point.
So
but
could you,
if Ryan Dole, it's not, I can't tell me it's not Ryan Dole.
So it's Ryan Dole, but you just made me, I'm just having, brainstorm of, you just mentioned Dolverine on the Mondo scale though. Take this head, put it on the Weapon X body. All right. You need, what's this guy? I forget this guy's name. Is it Guardian? Red Guardian.
Red Guardian, yeah.
Yeah. So Red Guardian, you need to purchase a Red Guardian and you need to purchase a Weapon X. That way you get a Ryan Dolverine in his underwear. You can get like a water bottle. You could set up like sort of a custom display of him. Right. I mean, think about it. Like just the potential for it. Get one of those like ridiculously large water bottles that people walked around with that carried like two bottles of water and had little time marks and you never actually kept up with it. Just get one of those and then put the figure in there and it's floating and you just got Dolverine Weapon X on your display. Boom goes the dynamite.
Even with the mask, it looks like it's Ryan Dole.
It's Dole. That is awesome.
I'm gonna. I want to take this image real. Save image to downloads. Ryan, can you like text me a picture of your face? Can somebody give me a picture of Ryan Dole's face? I gotta do like a side by side. I should have prepared this ahead of the show, but it's so much. It's Ryan Dole. Like maybe this. I don't think he's grown his beard out this much before. So the beard is a little extra compared to what Dolers has had before. But you can't tell me that the wonderful Ryan Ting didn't influence the sculpt here.
He did. He definitely, because you have
That's Ryan Dole. It's Ryan Dole, folks.
Was it the Ting and Dole pick and roll? Is that what Dole would always reference? Yes. I don't know, because they were talking about teaming up, playing basketball. Yeah. That's very sneaky of the sculptors. That's Ryan Dole. That is clearly Ryan Dole.
You're right.
Ooh, did Ryan Dole ever do a selfie series? He should sue, because if Ryan Dole did a selfie series and he took,
I don't think he did.
Okay.
So a lot of toy tubers and stuff, Hasbro at Comic-Con, not this last year, but the year before, they invited us to do selfie series at Comic-Con. But Dole wasn't at that Comic-Con. So I don't know if Dolers has ever did the selfie series. So I don't think they stole his head scan. First, Ryan Dole getting a figure for himself quicker than Carson Tapa. Who will arrive first? The Ryan Dole Red Guardian or the Carson Tapa?
And the cool thing about this figure too is, even though he's supposed to be from Russia, right? It's Canadian colors, clearly. Like he would fit right into Alpha Flight.
Exactly. Just put a maple leaf on the star.
Yeah, just swap the star with a maple leaf.
It's red and white. That's the Canadian flag, man.
There you go.
Anyways, where's Ryan Dole fan club? They gotta get on this stuff.
She's moderating the chat. She's under her, like, it's Colleen, right? She's Ryan Dole fan club. I thought everybody knew that. Was that a secret? Did I just break kayfabe?
Maybe. We don't know. We actually don't know who is the Ryan Dole fan club. Here's one thing I do know about the RDFC. Okay. And first, this is like really deep lore shit for maybe casuals that are watching this right now. Because I'm like, what? I never knew. Is they were a different username before they switched to the Ryan Dole fan club, because they've been GDL family member for longer than our Ryan Dole fan club has been around. I just don't know how to switch it around. Oh,
See,
Colleen?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying she's Ryan Dole fan club. I'm just saying you've never seen her in the same place as Ryan Dole fan club. That's all I'm just putting it out there.
Jace, so we have a Ryan Dole in Marvel and a Dan Larson in G.I. Joe Classified. Who's next?
We need a Jay and Mo too, right?
I don't need anything ever, anywhere, ever. Okay. That's it. Quip, anything going on with you in your world that you should let people know about?
Nothing else going on with me. Just gonna be here. Same bat time, same bat channel, right?
Beautiful. I will be in Japan next week. So Quip might be leading a show without me. Maybe we'll have like a fully like bootleg episode. Who knows? We'll host that one. But the next two, I will not be around because it'll be like, I don't know, 7 a.m. or something my time. Like it will not be functional or possible for me to do it. But there will be exactly. Pixel Dan, definitely Pixel Dan Mo too. He already has a character, I think. Me, Ghostbusters, but then maybe even have some. It's fine. I don't need a figure anywhere ever. It's fine. Colleen on the fence on the Ryan Dole fan club. But did somebody send me side by side? I don't think I had a side. Oh,
just pull up a toy anxiety video. Go to YHS Toy Anxiety on YouTube.
Hold on.
Or even
Kayla Silva.
Okay.
Sent me a text.
Okay.
It's kind of a grainy picture, Kayla. Not to judge or look a gift horse in the mouth. But here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean
that's so similar.
That clearly, yeah.
So
there's no denying it. No denying it.
Allegations. It's there. It's clear as crystal. Okay, so there'll be content from Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo. Just stay tuned, hit subscribe bell so you don't miss that. The Toylanta Toy Hunt video will be on for GDL members and patrons this week. Next episode of Toy Geeks Podcast, where Dan Larson and I are joined by Toy Otter. It is a long episode. It's like 2.5, maybe our longest episode ever. Our friend Jason, we went way back. We got into so many stories, so that should be a ton of fun. What else next week? I don't know. Just stay tuned. Hit the subscribe bell so you don't miss any of it. But tonight, after this, if you want to keep the party going, you can. I will be sharing my Toylanta hauls and sharing Toylanta stories. So come join After Dark. And if Gary wants to join, I'll show him something that Matt Bush sent for him. So we'll have fun there. How do you watch After Dark? Become a patron over at patreon.com/geekdadlife so you don't miss any of it. And that's it. Oh yeah, Bayathir ends tonight, I think. So go get your backs in. It's already backed. Hit the like button, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out and relatively being respectful. I was kind of worried getting spicy like this would have blown up the chat, because that's just how it goes sometimes in this world we live in. But thank you, everybody, for being respectful and kind to each other. So on that note, thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Patrons will see you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you in the next episodes of whatever other things we're putting out there in the internets. Until then, hasta luego and goodbye.